Hey guys, welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast, your daily guide for inner child healing. This podcast helps you establish a consistent reparenting routine, and it's divided into 3 sections. The first is a daily reading, the second is a discussion of that reading, followed by suggested journal prompts, and the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. I'm so glad that you could join us here on this journey of self-expansion and growth. If this is your first time, welcome. Now, before we dive in, I'd like to again remind us of the congratulations of passing the 500 episode marker. And as a celebration of that, I've opened up the Patreon community for free membership so that people can join our Zoom calls for free. There are a lot of people struggling out there. There's a lot going on. So I thought this could be a way to provide some help and, to give some thanks for all the support that I've received so far. You can also choose if you'd like to be a paid Patreon member, and that will help me to subsidize some of the costs and expenses that I have for this project. I'm still running this out of my own pocket, so it's about $2,000 to $5,000 a year that it costs me to produce this actually. So I'm not really making money from this. It's something that I'm doing for myself and hopefully to be able to help others. And so I'm coming from a genuine place here. The second thing that I'd like to remind you is that you can also find the Reparenting Daily Journal. You can purchase that on Amazon. It's another way to support the podcast. It's under $20. And it basically allows you to follow along with all of the monthly and weekly themes. It gives you space to keep your notes. And yeah, if you join the team or the Zoom calls, it might be a great way for us to all stay aligned and be working together. The last thing I'd like to give you a head up on is the Fairy Tales for Reparenting Daily series. As I mentioned earlier, I've had some editing issues with that because in the springtime, the end of spring, I did some reworking to structure those into certain themes. So like the beginning, middle, and end of the hero's journey. And in the midst of reorganizing and restructuring the stories and also upgrading the artwork, some of the text is a bit mixed and jumbled all over the place. Sorry about that. When I was in the editing phase for the first time, they did not send the proofread copies to the Netherlands, and so I had to work, around and trying to find a way to get the copy to edit, and it's just been a mess. So basically, that's going to take a little bit longer. I'm going to aim to have that done by the end of the year, but I have burned my eyes, so I am very limited. Excuse me, with what I can do and time I spent on the computer. And so I would have had that done much earlier. I would have liked to have that already done, but here we are. And so in any case, once that's available, again, I'll give you a heads up, but please do hold off on purchasing the Fairy Tales for Reparenting Daily for now. Or Fairy Tales for Reparenting series, not the Fairy Tales for Reparenting Daily. That's it today. So without further ado, let's dive into today's practice. Hey guys, today's reading is from Psychology Today. This article is entitled 15 Ways to Build a Growth Mindset. Just excuse me guys. I'm still very sick. I still have a lung infection and also the stomach infection. I just got my antibiotics today, so thank you for hanging in there with me, guys. It's been a very bumpy summer since the summer. Everything is... I'm just even talking about my personal life, not everything else that everyone is already dealing with, but it's been quite a doozy of the past few months for me. But now I have my antibiotics, so hopefully things are going to be getting better soon. I've really just been stuck in bed all week, but it's given me some time just to really sit the hell down, because I'm always someone who is doing too much. So without any further explanation into that, just be reminded that this is October and the theme is developing resilience and overcoming challenges. So hopefully overcoming the challenge with my lungs. We're in week 2, which is October 8th until the 14th. And the theme for this week is shifting from a fixed to a growth mindset. As always, you can find the link in the show notes. I'll only read a portion because this article is quite long and there are many hyperlinks there in case you want to dig deeper. 15 ways to build a growth mindset. Want to increase your chances of a success? Then develop your growth mindset. The hand you are dealt is just the starting point for development. Carl Dweck. Why growth mindset matters. Only 10 years ago, I stood behind an old brown cash register at the local retail store, sliding customers' purchases across a crisscross red scanner for $7.25 an hour. That was minimum wage at the time. If you had told me then, 10 years later, I'd have a PhD from Berkeley, write a blog for Psychology Today, or be the author of a book on how to generate happiness in the technology age, I would have thought you were absolutely bonkers. I had no connection, no money, no information on how to get me to where I am now. But I did have one thing. I had a growth mindset. What is a growth mindset? There are a variety of types of mindsets. Each of them can help or hurt our well-being. A growth mindset is simply a belief that our basic abilities can be developed and improved through dedication and hard work. It's not so much that this belief is some kind of magic. It's just that without a growth mindset, we tend not to exert the required effort, and so we remain perpetually stuck. But with the growth mindset, we can break through the stuckness, achieve long-term goals we desire, whether that be at work or in our relationships or in other aspects of our lives. Do you have a growth mindset? Do you believe that you were born and raised with a fixed set of skills and abilities, such as your IQ, that you had from birth and will stay with you your entire life? Or do you believe that your ideas and beliefs are evolving, that you can learn new skills if you work at it, and that your wisdom and intelligence grow with each new experience? If you said yes to the first question, you have what is referred to as a fixed mindset. If you said yes to the second question, you probably have what Stanford professor Carl Dweck calls a growth mindset. Don't worry if you have if you currently have a more fixed mindset, you can certainly develop a growth mindset. Why does a growth mindset matter? If we have a fixed mindset, we may shy away from challenges because we don't want to feel embarrassed or humiliated in front of others. Who does, right? But this can be problematic because our fear of making mistakes can lead us to avoid challenges and new experiences that would help us grow, improve ourselves in important ways, and create the life that we desire. If we have a growth mindset, we enjoy challenges despite risks, usually because we value learning and growth more than others liking or thinking that we know what we're doing. And because we're always trying new things, we often don't know what we're doing. Still, those of us with a growth mindset often build new skills and manifest something more easily because we believe we can, and so we really work at it. Developing a growth mindset can contribute to a fuller, more meaningful life because the range of experiences that such a life encompasses will be considerably broader. The key differences between a growth and fixed mindset. Number one is effort. When faced with hard work, the fixed mindset person will recruit others to do the hardest part, spending as little as possible, while the growth mindset person believes that good enough outcome often requires exertion. Effort is just part of the process. In order to master a new task, one usually needs to apply energy, whether mental, physical, or simply using repetition over time. Number two, challenges. A fixed mindset person shies away from challenges, possibly from fear of failure, and may go into hiding as a way to avoid responsibilities. In contrast, a growth mindset person finds challenges to be exciting and engaging, knowing that they will learn something valuable from their experiences. And number three, mistakes and feedback. The fixed mindset person hates making mistakes because it's embarrassing. They may blame others. Check out the inner bonding workbook if you need help with blaming, or be defensive when criticized. Meanwhile, a growth mindset person will see the mistake as a lesson to learn from and will be less likely to take criticism personally. Being open to criticism can help improve one's ability to do better next time, which is another reason why a growth mindset can lead to success. Thank you. That's the reading for today, and tomorrow we'll dive deeper into those 15 reasons. This reading expands on Carl Dweck's foundational work by showing what a growth mindset is not. It's not just a belief, it's a daily practice. It's the attitude that says, I can learn, adapt, and improve no matter where I start. The story of the author, once earning a minimum wage after earning her PhD, illustrates that this mindset is not a privilege, but it's one that determines direction. Growth comes from embracing challenges, learning from feedback, valuing effort, and staying committed to progress rather than perfection. In the context of developing resilience, adopting a growth mindset transforms how we relate to difficulty. Resilience is not about never failing, it's about how quickly we rise and what we learn each time we do. A fixed mindset says, I failed, so I'm not good enough. A growth mindset reframes it. I failed, so I'm learning. This shift builds emotional endurance, allowing us to navigate setbacks with patience, self-compassion, and curiosity, rather than shame or despair. For reparenting, this mindset becomes an act of healing. Many trauma survivors internalize rigid, critical messages. You'll never change. You're broken. You're not smart enough. And my mother personally said that to me. A growth mindset replaces that inner critic with a nurturing inner parent who says, you're learning. It's okay to make mistakes. You can try again. Each time you choose compassion over judgment, effort over avoidance, you rewire your brain for safety, curiosity, and confidence. Growth mindset is reparenting in motion. It's how you become the encouraging voice you've always needed. As we go into the journal prompts today, number 1, do you feel that you have more areas in which you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? Has there been a tendency in one direction over time? Number 2, what does embracing imperfection mean to me? And how can I practice self-acceptance even while I'm still learning? And number 3, when I face a challenge or mistake, what would it sound like if my inner loving parent spoke instead of my inner critic? That's it for today. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself, and please do be well. Welcome back, welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please go ahead and find a space where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for this 10-minute silent meditation. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you comfortable today. Take a moment to simply be with yourself. Focus on your breath and gently connect with each part of your body. If thoughts arise, don't let them overwhelm you. Just observe them without attachment. Imagine them as leaves drifting down atop a river, passing by without needing your engagement. Stay present, grounded, and open to this moment, no matter what time you are listening and practicing this meditation. Namaste.